¿Qué pasa, amigos? My name is Ash, and today I want to talk about the all but forgotten digital console, Stadia. Stadia, for those who don't know, is a virtual console service that allows users to play games without a console or PC. All you need is a Stadia subscription, controller, or mouse and keyboard, internet, and some sort of TV or monitor to play on. Oh, and a Google Chromecast if you plan to play on anything other than your phone or computer. No PlayStation, Xbox, or even overpriced PC required. Stadia works by streaming the game of your choice through Google's data center. It's essentially set up to be the Netflix of gaming. No long download times, trip to your local game store required. Everything is instantly streamable the minute you sign up. A while back, I made a few videos before Stadia launched that go into further detail about the service, which I'll have tagged on the screen and in the description if you want to know more in-depth details about the service. But anyway, at the time of those videos, I was extremely excited to see Stadia launch and watch the massive impact it would inevitably have on the gaming industry. It seemed a revolutionary concept at the time, and in many ways it still is. However, since the platform launched, the most I've heard about Google's ambitious product is a few short and fleeting advertisements, which honestly did a poor job of selling what a great product Stadia could really become. And that's really the key as of now, what it could become. Although the idea behind Stadia is ahead of its time, the launch has been anything but stellar. And that's exactly what we're here to fully uncover. How could such an amazing idea, platform, and product fall so flat? How poorly is Stadia really doing? And how can it become a powerful player in the console war, if it even can at all? Firstly, let's tackle the how is Stadia doing question, because at least to me, the numbers were even more underwhelming than I anticipated. I mean, yeah, I don't even know a single person who has bought or even playtested Stadia, even with a free subscription option recently being released. So maybe I should have feared the worst for Stadia, but I hadn't thought that they would be getting roasted this hard so soon. I mean, come on, the idea behind Stadia sounds futuristic and badass, so the numbers couldn't possibly be that bad, right? Well, Google isn't exactly telling us how hard they have face-planted, so the best metric we have is to look at the player base for a nearly 3-year-old game. Destiny 2 was one of the main launch titles featured on Stadia, which honestly says a lot about why the service isn't doing well. But anyway, before Stadia opened its 2 free-month trial subscription, Destiny was only seeing a player base of 5,500. However, these numbers saw a spike on April 9th, which was a few short days after the free trial rolled out. Once news of this got out, the player count on Destiny 2 quickly skyrocketed to over 36,000 players. While that's a good sign for Stadia, as it seems players are interested in testing the service, those numbers ultimately represent less than 5% of Destiny's overall player base. Also of note is the fact that Destiny was shipped to every Stadia player who pre-ordered the streaming service. So those numbers are definitely a little inflated, and I think the spike will surely plummet at the end of all of those free 2-month subscriptions. Considering how popular the Destiny title is, it's surely one of the most played games on Stadia, leading us to assume that the overall player base on the platform is abysmal at best. So what happened? Where did Stadia go wrong? Was it avoidable, and did they even stand a chance to recover? I'd make the argument that Stadia was more so a victim of circumstance and less so a poor product or marketing strategy, however non-existent that may be. While marketing by Google and post-launch communication with its members has been less than abundant, I truly feel Stadia's growth only has a chance at being slow and steady as opposed to an overnight meteoric rise. When Stadia launched back in November of 2019, the Founders Pack, Google's version of a pre-release bundle, cost $130. Included within a Stadia controller, a 3-month subscription, and a Chromecast Ultra for 4K streaming. While the $130 price tag is far less than the 2 major consoles, PlayStation and Xbox, the benefits of Stadia are severely lacking. The subscription for the Pro version still calls for players to purchase additional games for the service to even be worth it. I mean, what's the point of paying $130 if you're just going to play Destiny 2 for the rest of your life? So that means you can pile on additional costs to that initial $130. And yes, you could make the argument that since you have to buy games for regular consoles or PCs, that at the end of the day you are saving money by using Stadia. However, this is where I really think Stadia is missing out. Services like Netflix and Hulu spend millions of dollars for just one TV show, and yet none of those shows or movies are behind an additional paywall that lies beyond the subscription price. In addition to this, Google Stadia Stadia has more ways to monetize the platform than a Hulu or Netflix has. If Stadia were to make every game on the platform free for one monthly subscription cost, the player count would, over time, be in the millions. There is a huge market of people who can't afford or aren't willing to spend $60 every time a new game is released, and this is the exact market that would flock to Stadia. Another possible solution to Stadia's horrible numbers is securing exclusive titles or DLC. Buying the exclusive rights to a game or timed release to a DLC can be a huge boost for a competitor in the console war. Stadia needs to give players a reason to make the switch. To drop the console they've been on for years and spent probably thousands of dollars on is a very tough sell. People don't change easily, but once you expose someone to something new, it's far more likely that they will stay. Stadia just needs to give players a real reason to playtest the platform. And another issue lives within the deficiencies in the area of infrastructure. While Stadia lacks in other areas, it's especially behind in the infrastructure game, as extensive services have already been built within the other two major competitors. The Xbox and PlayStation aren't just gaming consoles anymore. They are all-in-one entertainment centers that offer everything from gaming to voice calls, Netflix, and internet browsers. This doesn't mean a dedicated gaming service is inherently bad, it simply gives us less incentive for any one person to invest money in a highly specialized product, when the way of the future is a jack-of-all-trades machine. It's almost like someone going out and buying a Garmin GPS for $100 when you could just go buy an iPhone 8 for $300. Give me a reason to buy the specialized product, make the product exclusive, giving me a direct reason for choosing it over anything else. At this point, Stadia just simply lacks the massive networks, infrastructure, and player base that the bullies of the gaming industry currently have. Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony have the gaming market cornered, and for anyone to pry their way in, they will have to reimagine and revolutionize how games are played. Although this is the exact mission statement for Stadia, the circumstances within the gaming industry have made it more than difficult to do so in a timely manner. The three major console competitors are firmly entrenched in the gaming battlefield, with the youngest of the three, Xbox, having been in the war for almost 19 years now. Regardless of how well a platform or service can change the way things are done, many gamers have put thousands of hours and dollars into their favorite systems and companies. The shell of the gaming industry is an especially hard one to crack, and Stadia is well aware of this fact. To expect any large number of players to suddenly drop their console or PC in place of a new and unproven platform is an impossible sell. So how can Stadia start to build a player base and become a relevant contender in the console war? Well, they have a creatively unique platform that I truly believe is the future of gaming. Years from now, not many people will be playing on an actual physical console in their living room. They will instead be utilizing a service like Stadia to instantly stream games to their TV or phone. Microsoft and Sony know this, which is exactly why they are developing their own version of Stadia that plan to release in the very near future. What Stadia needs to do is to pioneer this corner of the gaming industry. They need to perform the best and stand clearly above the rest during this transition in the gaming universe. Becoming the industry standard for game streaming may not give them the win in the short term, but it will sure as hell pay off in the long run. However, there is a way Stadia can sneak through the cracks in the near future. With the next generation of consoles dropping in the fall of this year, many will be faced with a $500 barrier of entry into this new phase of gaming. This is where Stadia should market the hell out of their service. However, Google has just announced that 120 new games will be coming to Stadia in 2020, including 10 timed exclusives, although those games have not yet to be revealed, so it is not yet known if they are of any consequence. All things considered, this is perfect timing. Giving players a real alternative to spending $500+ on a new console could score them a huge player base payday. While Stadia's marketing has been non-existent at best, I hope for their sake they begin to crank up the advertisements in the coming months. Not many people even remember Stadia at this point, so creating brand recognition will be massive for them in the coming months as the next generation arrives. Make players aware of Stadia and the big moves they're making in 2020, and maybe Stadia stands a chance at becoming a major player in the gaming industry. Anyway, that will do it for this video. Make sure you hit like, click or tap that subscribe button to become the heart of this gaming channel, and be a part of the conversation in the comments below by telling me how you feel about Stadia and if you have a subscription or have even playtested it before. And for more gaming analysis, news, reviews, and opinions, stay here on Ash Heart. And as always, thanks for watching.